know what you did besides that, but
Well,
I thought
we
that
can't
was
get
funny,
into it
and
now,
I like
no.
you.
He did a lot.
We gotta keep moving. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, what about Bob Carroll, Ted the House?
What about it?
That was a good movie, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Natalie Wood was in
Changed
it.
movie comedy forever.
Wasn't Natalie Wood?
Everything had, up until Bob and Carol, although we're getting a little off the subject, everything up until then had been a tease.
Yeah,
Like Doris Day and Rock Hudson,
yeah,
tease,
yeah,
pillow talk, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But after you make a movie like Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, you can't do that anymore.
That's right. Broke new ground.
Changed comedy forever in movies.
Great movie.
What else? What do we got?
This is, I think, about the roughest thing that I've seen Cosby do. Did he have any problem with, the violence and all in this movie?
He only had a problem with one thing. The guy that was the bag man that he chased in the Coliseum, this was an old pal of mine from Western days. The Cos didn't know anything about. But that fellow who was the bag man who got shot ran the 193.
Yeah.
He had very good shot.
Cos was very fast. He ran 198, I think, in college. I knew he couldn't catch this kid. And I didn't tell him. It's the only faster than I pulled him. That was low. Because I wanted it to work, to look like it was really hard. And it worked. It was hard. I could only take it to him twice. I said, try it again. He looked at me with such a glare. I said, try this one one more time. I only could do it twice, because I think he could only do it twice.
Is there any chance that you guys could work together again or anything? Do you have any?
We don't have any plans, but sure, of course. All anybody has to do is ask us, I think.
Someone asked him, please.
Right there.
Oh, hi. You talked about the Coliseum scene where you're running across, your character's running across the field.
Yeah.
Was there a reason, because you'd had this double hernia, was there a reason you did that long shot with a down shot, with a long shot, so that it accentuated that?
It didn't. It hurt like a son of a gun. And the shot was simply made from the bleachers that, the bleachers that are the artificial bleachers that were brought in, and placed at the end of the day, just happened to be there. I didn't expect them to be there. But I said, when we got there on that day, I said, well, I guess I better adjust to it. And we did. But I still had to show, I had to have enough of a piece of Boggs running on the football field to cut in with the other stuff that was going on. And no, there was no deliberate angle to accentuate the fact that I was limping. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to accentuate it because audiences, when they really get on something, say, what the hell is that about? And it distracts them. I didn't want that. I just couldn't do it any other way.
Couple
Yeah.
more.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
It's a very visually sophisticated movie, especially for a first feature film. Can you talk about working with Bill Love, the director of photography?
Why?
Yeah, 'cause it's a gorgeous looking movie.
Well, yes, it's a gorgeous looking movie. Do you know Bill Bauer?
I mean, I know his work, absolutely. I don't know the man, but I know his work.
I'm very fond of Bill Butler. This is his first feature outside of Rain People that he did for Coppola. And he performed miracles in that. And there were no cinematographers of any note whatsoever available to me at that moment. And we pulled him off of second unit shooting rocks and sticks and pieces of string on Deliverance in Alabama or wherever they were shooting. He was based in Chicago, essentially, at that time. We're talking about 71. And he walked in the door, and I threw this at him, and he said, okay. And I said, look, I know you've really been through a tough mill with Mr. Coppola on the Rain People. I mean, he had, 5 cents to make that movie, and you had to make a whole movie out of it. And I know some of the stories, and I respect that. All I ask of you is that almost every shot, when I yell cut or somebody yells cut, I'm going to look at you and you're going to go terrific, or you're going to go, let's do it again. Well, he always said terrific. And for the first 2 weeks, it wasn't terrific. I needed a particular amount of information in the frame for every, I could go take you through the picture, cut after cut after cut, such as the Chicano and that funny-looking hayseed of a warden type person coming out into the office as he's being released, and on the door, backwards, it says out of bounds. I need to see that. That's desperately important. This really was real. We really did go to Chino, and we really did shoot there, but we only shot in the office because I couldn't afford to have any excitement anywhere that I couldn't explain. So that was carefully staged. But I wasn't getting it. It wasn't there. And I said, Bill, I can't lose you. I can't shut down. I can't fire you. I don't want to. You and I seem to work together well, except you and I are not on the same wavelength. You're looking at it from one point of view, and I need information in the frame, as well as well lit. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do the setups, and you're going to gaff the show. You're going to play it. And that's the way we did the show. And the DP, the DP's job was split up between Butler and me. And the guy who was the operator was the one who said this or this. And I would carefully say, look, I need this, 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 and this, and if you don't have it, let's do it again. And usually we got it, and so forth. But this was the majority of the 35 days. I'm sure Bill didn't enjoy working with me, but we came up with a good movie. So, sorry about that. Sorry about the way it worked, but look at him. He's got a whole bunch of Academy Awards.
How did you first meet Bill Cosby?
How did I first meet him? I walked into an office where we were going to read this thing called Last Time. And I had been committed for 2 or 3 months, and I was about ready to blow it off because we couldn't find the black guy. Because Sheldon and I both agreed on one thing. That's what's going to make this show wonderful and special, was the teaming of a white guy and a black guy. And at that time, we had a mistaken impression that it was going to be like James or whatever. Well, anyway, Mr. Dillon and Chester. In other words, Mr. Dillon, 75%, and Chester, 25%. And after that first day of reading the script, which was a disaster, I went next door to the producer's office and said, do you know what we just saw? And one of them said, yeah, bad actor. I said, that doesn't matter a damn. Anybody who's as angry as that can be an actor, trust me, and will be. This is one of the brightest men I've ever met in my whole life. He's a genius. That was my discovery. And I said, this is, and oh, by the way, that 75-25 stuff is out the window. This is 50-50, or the comedy won't work. These were the things that happened at that first day. That's when I met Bill, and I didn't know him, and what we did thereafter was we talked on the phone, because he was going club to club to club all over the place, especially in Canada then. And I was writing scripts for I Spy. And we talked for an hour to an hour and a half, every single day, Sundays included. That's how we got to know each other well enough for those first scripts to be written. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to digress that much, but that's the way it happened.
That's awesome. One last question.
Yeah.
Right over there.
Was Hickey Boggs the only feature film that you and Bill made, and if so, how come you didn't make any more, because you guys were so great together?
Because this was a failure at the box office. It tanked horribly the first weekend. This thing didn't make a nickel. Because it was 20 years ahead of its time. If it were released today, think about it a little. If it were released today, and if Kaz and I were of the same stature that as we were then, today, when the picture is released, it would be a hit. It would be a critic's darling. Nobody picked up on this as critics. Oh, a couple of people. Charles Champlin was one. But it was a complete and utter failure on every level at the time, because no one had ever cut a movie like this, and it was a very difficult story to follow, and people wanted to be spoon-fed. They still do. But nevertheless, the audience today is ready for this movie, because everything on television is cut like this now. And it wasn't then. The cutting was crucial, critical to being able to tell this story. I thought of it as a window, a series of windows on the cable, the adventure, the story. Throw the window up, and as long as it's up, you see what's going on inside the window. And then you slam the window shut, open another one. That's the way this was deliberately cut. Okay, I think that's about all we have time for.
Multiple grades go to European. And European too. Yeah. Number one.